Majo John Madden in El Diamante, Mexico. It is around high noon, and I am sitting on a curb, which is a familiar situation for me. I've done a lot of this in my life, especially in the last 3 years on the road. And I'm in one of my favorite spots. That is the Catholic Church. I actually attended that church one Sunday for 5 minutes, which was all I could tolerate. It was lovely, very sweet, reverent, but not for me. And behind me is the escuela, the local school, and the big gymnasium, outdoor gymnasium with a big canopy over it, where a big family party happened about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I walk all over these streets a lot, so I know every one of these streets has a lot of meaning to me. I've got 7% battery left in my phone. That may or may not be long enough to make a 7 or 8 minute video. We'll see. I'm betting it will be. And I'm willing to use that battery life to try to document what's going on, the craziness that has gone on for me this morning. There have been handwriting on the wall that I was running out of tolerance for the casual disrespect of dogs in Mexico. I made a video about it a couple of days ago, saying that I consider it a sin and a big spiritual failing. There's something wrong with the spirituality of people in Mexico. Overall, it's wonderful. Overall, I love the culture and I love the people and I love how spiritual they are. But their spiritual leaders are not reminding them that we are one with all of life. That Jesus said, whatsoever you do to the least of your brethren, that you do unto me. They don't get that. Dogs are the least of the brethren in so many parts of Mexico, and here in El Diamante and at the Israeli restaurant, and they are casually mistreated. And I love dogs and have adopted 3 local dogs. And this morning I should have known that, well, I kind of did see the handwriting on the wall as I walked from our long walk. Jason, who's made himself a nice little spot down there, and Mufafa, who was hanging out with us for a walk. As I walked from the spot where I usually have a Coke and a drinkable yogurt in the morning and a cigarette, towards the Israeli restaurant, at the restaurant across the street, I heard someone who I couldn't see in the darkness nastily run Jason out, and I insulted him. It was very not Mexican. I said something to the effect of, this dog is a much nicer being than you are. So I said, oh, chill. We're about to go over to the restaurant, and you almost took Miguel Sr.'s head off last night for how nasty he is to the dogs. He's the one he's a great man, and a spiritual man, but nasty to those dogs, and doesn't get it. And I had come really close to yelling at him the night before, but instead just hustled me and the dogs out. And the other strategy I've used is to hustle us down into the far corner, farthest away from the action, and let the dogs hide behind the table with me or under the table, or Jason will sometimes go around outside and sit on the other side of the window where I can reach through the window and pet him. So he is out of the restaurant. So the explosion happened. It happened. Miguel was really nasty to the dogs. I hustled them down into the corner. Unfortunately, Maritza, very sweet server, put herself in harm's way by pursuing with a broom, trying to run them out of the restaurant, and I blew. I did not swear. I did not go into personal attacks. And it was all English, so she didn't know what I was saying. But basically, I yelled, leave these dogs. I really yelled it. I used my full big voice, which people don't do in Mexico unless very, very serious situations. So she was just standing there dumbfounded when I yelled, leave these dogs alone, take your broom and sweep somewhere else, and then it was not eloquent for me to yell, "Shut up," because she hadn't said a word. But what I've realized is I was determined not to swear at her, and yelling "shut up" was as disrespectful as I could come up with without swearing or calling her an idiota, which I wouldn't do because she's not. So I have doubled back and sent a long text message to Miguel Jr. about, it looks like if I have to be here another 2 weeks before my car is ready to go, I think I need to spend my daytimes in the town of Vega, which I'm liking anyway because I'm so over being in a 400-person town. And because the Wi-Fi at the hotel seems to have gotten worse, I think maybe he's got a setting off in it, because I can't upload videos at all there these days, whereas I can very nicely in Vega at one of 2 stores. So I said to him in this long text, I think for the next 2 weeks I'm going to spend my time in Vega, and I will from Vega reach out to my brother and my best friend, whether they can hit me up with just enough money for bus fare both ways for the next 2 weeks and to keep the dogs in kibble. Not going to be much. I bet if either of them sent me $25 American, that would be fine. And I said to Miguel, who still has not answered, so they're off doing something, although I'm not on Wi-Fi, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't see their answers. I said, and I'm going to apologize to Maritza. I'm going to go through that right now. So I did. I had it all laid out, translated in my Google Translator, and I walked in, and Maritza and Sarita were sitting there. The restaurant was empty. They were blasting the stereo, which I don't mind, except I said, could we turn that off so we could talk? And Sarita clearly was listening. Maritza was just staring at her phone and wouldn't acknowledge my presence, which, I think that was an awful blast of intensity for a sweet girl, and it was the wrong person. And I said that to Miguel, and I said it to her. That was the wrong person. I really wanted to blast Miguel Sr. You got in harm's way when you came down here with your broom and tried to insist that the dogs leave when I had positioned myself between them and the rest of the restaurant to protect them. So I protected them. And I screamed in English, leave the dogs alone. I really screamed it though. Leave the dogs alone. Go sweep somewhere else, and shut up. I guess maybe I said all that already. So she ignored me, and then I said, I don't even have 25 cents today to get into Vega. Either of you have 25 cents? And Sarita said, I don't have 25 cents, which can't be true. I don't think she's 25 cents. I bet she's got 25 cents, but she just wasn't about to help me. They were plenty mad, and they're likely to stay mad for 2 weeks, and I could tolerate that, but I need to be gone elsewhere. So I went by. I asked Kathy at the tienda. She didn't have any money, and went looking for my friend Deanna at her tamale shop. Someone else was running it today. So I'm sitting here at the corner. I sure won't be able to accomplish anything today without Wi-Fi. It's conceivable I'll end up going back there, which I do not want to do. My friend Francisco lives just down the street, just 2 doors down here. I sent him a WhatsApp message, are you home, which wouldn't go through without the Wi-Fi, so I'll have to go by and yell. And we'll see what happens with that. So I trust it all. I'm not mad at myself. I regret that she's the one who caught the force, but she's unharmed. She's not genuinely harmed. So I really don't. It had to happen. It had to happen. It had to happen. It was building. And I don't mind that it came out. And it may be a rocky road the next 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't know how Miguel and Alia will respond. Hopefully they won't throw me out because I can't go anywhere. I've got no motor in my car for another 2 weeks. Okay.